Maple Collector here. Today I want to talk about Acer japonicum cultivars. Not a whole lot of variation in Acer japonicum cultivars as far as color goes. Most of them are green. They all have spectacular fall color, which is really one of the main things about these guys. Great structure on a tree. Thicker branching, more separated the branches than an Acer palmatum. Very large leaves on many of them. They do great, most of them in sun or shade. They have larger leaves when you put them in the shade, so if you want them to have those real big leaves, put them in the shade. This is Acer japonicum Osaimi. Great cultivar. I love this one. This is my favorite. Maybe because it's the well, it's not the longest one I've had. I've had acanidifolium, I think, the longest. But I like this one more than acanidifolium myself. I like the way it grows, how it kind of it spreads out more. It grew up and then it grew out. So this one's probably 6 feet across at least, and probably 4 feet tall, maybe 5 feet tall. So seeds are real common on most japonicum cultivars. They don't always germinate the first year though. Sometimes I think it takes them a couple years to germinate. They also germinate better in areas with cold winters. This tree is fairly cold hardy, more so than even palmatum. So that's Acer japonicum Osaimi. Acer japonicum cultivar number 2 is Fairy Lights. This one, I was under the impression was a dwarf. Maybe it is. It is a low-growing cultivar, but it has grown very fast for me. This is my 4th year with it, and it's at least tripled in size since I first got it. I love this one. I love the dissected leaves. There are quite a few. Well, not quite a few, but there are a few different Acer japonicum cultivars that have the dissected leaves. Various thinness in the lobes, depending on which one you have. There's Green Cascade, Oregon Fern. I forgot what the cascading one was called. I think it's something pretty similar, like Dissectum. Maybe it's Acer japonicum Dissectum. I don't know. I don't remember. But that one is actually the only weeping one, the one I'm trying to think of. The other dissected japonicums they have more of a spreading habit. Have a nice kind of a pagoda look to them. I really like the way they spread out. So that's Fairy Lights. Again, great fall color on all the japonicum cultivars that I know of. Some are solid in color, like more orange, more red. The majority of them are multicolored though. Yellow, orange, red. And it's pretty long lasting for their color. Acer japonicum Fairy Lights. Okay, I remember which ones were the pendulous weeping type. At least there's not just one. I think there's about 3 of them. And one is Abby's weeping. And then there's Ao Jutan. And then there's one other one, which was the one I was trying to think of. Mr. Maple had it a few years back, and they said it was the most pendulous variety of Acer japonicum, but I can't for the life of me remember the actual name. But I do remember it was something very simple. And so anyway, so there are 3 pendulous types. And then most of the other dissected japonicums are more have more of a spreading form. In the back here, underneath my Shadava Gold and Nathan, and next to my Vetii, Acer catetrifolium Vetii, there you have Gossamer. That's actually a hybrid, or supposedly is a hybrid of Acer japonicum, Acer palmatum, which oddly enough you don't find many of. You would think there would be more hybrids of these two, and maybe there is, but this is the only one that is considered. I'm pretty sure it's the only one. Maybe there's some other ones out there, but they're new if they are. Acer japonicum X Gossamer. This one stays really small. I've had this one about 4 years, and maybe it's doubled in size in 4 years, and it's only about a foot tall. Maybe a little. It's about 1 by 1, I would say. It's a cool little tree. It has, its leaves pretty much look like a dissected japonicum to me, and it gets the same nice fall colors that other japonicums get. It's really kind of a collector's item. Acer japonicum Gossamer, or Acer japonicum hybrid Gossamer. So I did say most of these were green, the japonicums. This one is not. It has kind of a reddish, orangey bronze cast to it. This is Acer japonicum Aka Amote. Really nice. It has color all year, from when it first comes out until the fall, where it has a lot of orange and reds in the fall. Beautiful like all the others. Leaves are a little smaller than some of the other japonicums, but they're still pretty big. This one is a little harder to find than some of the other japonicum cultivars. Acer japonicum Aka Amote. Okay, this is Acer japonicum aconitifolium, also called fern leaf maple, also called dancing peacock maple, also called mai kujaku, and there's some other names, I think filififormis, something like that. But it's got a lot of synonyms. It's been around for a while. Aconitifolium, I'm pretty sure, is the first name that it was given. And there's probably some genetic variability in this one too. I don't think it's a real clean cultivar. I think there's a lot of seedlings that were given the same name and then reproduced as cultivars. So it just seems that way. It seems like this one's kind of convoluted, which is fine. I mean, they all have this type of leaf, dancing peacock leaf. There may be differences in the fall coloration though. As far as those are the only japonicums I have. I don't have too many because while I love the large leaves and the different texture it gives compared to Acer palmatums and other Acers, there's not a whole lot of variability in these except for the leaf size and shape, how dissected or how round they are. You want something in between this and Oasami. You get Yamakagi is a good one. The popular thing these days is to get the leaves larger and larger. You got Giant Moon, and it's called Woods #2. And then you have Rising Sun, I think is the biggest one now, which is pretty cool because it's this gigantic dinner plate sized leaf, which a lot of these can get under certain situations, but that one seems to be, I guess, fairly consistent on the size of its leaf. That's an Isley introduction, I believe, the Rising Sun is. I haven't seen it at too many nurseries yet, but I'm sure it's out there if you look. But anyway, so just decide what size tree you want, if you want a japonicum, and what kind of texture you want. You don't really need too many of these, at least in my opinion, unless you just want to do a garden full of japonicums, which would be cool. It'd be very spectacular in the fall because they do have great fall color. Okay, that's enough rambling. This is, once again, Acer palmatum, aconidifolium. This is not the prettiest tree I have because it's been kind of an experimental tree. I've got it kind of in the back in a corner, and I can't even go through the things this one's been through. But it's kind of chopped up too. It doesn't have the true form of this tree. It was much fuller at one point, and I pruned the lower branches. I might actually turn it into a bonsai at some point. I know a lot of people love this one. It's not my favorite though. I like a lot of the other ones better. A lot of the other japonicums better than aconidifolium. Probably just has to do with the fact that it's one of the more popular, more common ones. And I don't know. I just have this thing. I tend to prefer rare stuff. That's my thing. This is a great tree though. Very beautiful. One of the prettier japonicums for sure. Anyway, like, subscribe. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And I'll see you again soon. Maple Collector.